Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
I'm Katie.
The Chicago River is the only river that flows backwards in the entire world.
How does it flow backwards?
I don't know.
Like, what does that mean?
I really don't.
How does the science work?
Is it in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go find out.
Yeah, go find out.
We're going there tomorrow.
Use the hashtag Geeks Corner to tell us other Chicago facts or talk about the show. Actually, I want some Chicago facts, but mostly talk about the show.
And
Chicago
tell
facts.
us right now, what kind of pizza is better?
You know the right
Chicago
answer.
or New York? And while we're speaking about pizza, we'll talk about our favorite pizza connoisseur who brought me back a Banshee from Walt Disney World. I don't have it awake right now. It's asleep because otherwise it sounds very violent and loud.
And he hasn't grown out his ponytail to bond with it yet.
That is also true. But our Banshee needs a name. So if you have ideas to name the Banshee, hashtag Geeks Corner, hashtag name the Banshee.
I've already suggested Smitty Ickerman Jensensen.
That's too long for
Yeah,
Twitter.
it doesn't work, so we need help.
All right. Well, there's a bunch of trailers that came out this
So
last
many.
weekend. San Diego Comic-Con. Just really quickly, were there any cosplay or photos that you saw over the weekend that you thought were absolutely amazing from
There
Comic-Con?
were so many. There was a video going around of a young lady with a melodica following people around, playing the themes of whatever cosplay she saw.
Which is amazing.
It was so good. So much applause there. There in that video, there was a Corey from Legend of Zelda, which was amazing. So,
Amazing.
yes.
So we're just going to give that one the win,
Yep.
even
Yeah.
though it's not really,
Congratulations.
like, it's bringing all the other ones to life
She
in a
was
much
little
better
fan,
way.
And it was adorable, and she would like giggle when they saw her, and she would like run away with her melodica. It was amazing.
Dapsy contender.
As for pizza, William Fonda says, I prefer New York, but enjoyed Chicago as well. Very diplomatic answer.
Very,
We'll
yes.
give it to you. And Katie Bear 13 looked devastated by Wendy leaving her side. That's how everybody is when Wendy leaves their
I
side.
love Wendy.
She's a
so
very good dog,
much.
especially now that she's alive.
They didn't kill her on the show.
That was a reference to a previous episode. If you know what it is, let us know.
True fans, tune in.
That's right. Send us the link. Then we don't have to go find it.
Do our work for us.
So over the weekend, there was a bunch of clips and trailers released and shown and
Consumed.
consumed. Some of them we didn't officially see because they didn't hit the internet officially, but perhaps they were there anyway. But we're going to start with DuckTales because Scrooge was with Scrooge today at Disneyland, and that just seems like... Wasn't that a good...
It was good.
So good.
That was good.
In front of the treasury that Scrooge runs in Toontown.
Right. That's the piggy bank.
Yes.
I always think that's funny. But that's right, isn't it, Roger? It's the piggy bank? Yeah. So there was a preview of DuckTales. It looks like from their first, thank you, Tyler, somebody did it. But it looks like from their first adventure together. And who wants to lead off about this clip? It's probably, what, a minute and a half?
About that.
Yes, very good. We're getting all the references from back there tonight. So who wants to lead off about Duck? Go ahead.
Take it. The most important. I've been excited about the show in general, but one thing that I was not excited about before, and I'm now actually interested in, is the dynamic of the three brothers. I mean, before they're kind of just been
Generic.
interchangeable. Like,
Yeah.
I knew they were giving them individual characters, and I wasn't super stoked about that because I didn't know how that was going to work. But you could, in this minute and a half, you can really see an individual established character for them that's very entertaining, and I like that.
I actually like to add on to the top of that, not only those dynamics, but the dynamics they now have because of those relationships with Scrooge. And they're like, it's going to create a bunch of different combinations that we just didn't expect before. What do you think of the clip?
I thought it was really fun. And the thing I was worried about, and we discussed it before, was I was worried about the voices being too much like the actors that we already know, and we're going to recognize them from other things and pick it out and be like, oh, that's them just doing their regular voice. But they actually are portraying the characters well, and I feel like I'm not just sitting there going, oh, that's Bobby Moynihan. Oh, that's whatever that guy's name is.
Well, the interesting thing with that is I feel like there's a lot more potential to take the show further than the one from the 80s, just because there's more characters to develop and more characters to explore, as opposed to taking classic literature or events in history and just throwing these characters into them, with Scrooge really being the only character you really dug into for the most part. Maybe a little bit of Gizmo Duck and stuff, but really there wasn't a
Later
whole lot.
seasons, yeah. With the
Yeah, but there wasn't a whole lot of depth going on with that. So August 12th, I believe, is the first episode and second episode. Is that right?
Yes.
And I think we need to have like a viewing party or something with. We
I'm
can.
definitely excited to watch them though.
We can have duck confit. We can have
Yay. Duck
I don't-
L'Orange.
duck l'orange. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we can barbecue it. We could.
Yes. All
Is that
it
wrong?
Duck is the fruit of the sea.
Is that-
You can boil it, broil it, saute it. There's
that-
duck Creole.
Would that be inappropriate? We could. Yeah. I don't know. We won't have duck. We'll have beef.
Not Clarabelle.
Oh.
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 Yeah, but anyway, so knowing what we know so far about DuckTales,
Whoa.
thank you. At least one person's doing this.
We're gonna
Knowing-
get fired, Cameron.
Yeah, you are. This is like make or
Well,
break.
Sorry, guys. It's our last episode.
The rule of Geeks Corner is when you say DuckTales,
Woo!
you do that.
I'm not getting fired.
Good job.
Anymore.
Very good. I'm proud of you. So now that you know what you know about DuckTales and have seen a now that you know what you know about DuckTales
Woo!
and have seen a little bit of it, what are your expectations for this first season?
I think it's gonna be a lot of character building. It feels like they already have a decent pace going, but I think this is one of those things that as the season progresses, as it's clear that the voice actors worked with each other, we're gonna get a lot more comfortable with each other.
I'm excited. I'm not expecting too terribly much because I don't want to get my hopes too high. 'Cause I
Get
don't
your
want-
hopes high.
I don't want them to do too many things. I don't want them to go in a complete drastic direction from the other one, and instead of not going too in depth, going too in depth.
Well, and there is possibilities for that from things I've heard that I'm not gonna say on the air.
Ooh,
Sorry, I'm gonna be cryptic.
cryptic DAPs.
Ooh, there's a new hashtag.
But yeah, I'm excited, and I do think it'll be 2 thumbs up. I'm just not.
Will it be a watch every week, or will it be a I'm gonna wait till the whole thing's out and then binge watch?
I'll probably binge. Like I feel like
I'm
that's
gonna
where
watch
I'm
every
at.
week.
I'm gonna try to watch every week, but I know myself, and then I'm gonna watch some weeks, and then some weeks I'm not gonna watch, and I'm gonna try to catch up real fast, and then.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it might come
yeah.
up on Geeks Corner, so do your homework.
Oh no, I'm so bad at that.
So, speaking of Twitter, guess who is here? Miss Bailey C has just joined Geeks Corner, and that means it's the perfect time for a meme, if that's good for our producer. Is it? It is. Let's see this meme. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but Katie, identity theft isn't a joke. Stares into camera.
So my life is just one big episode of The Office, guys.
Yep, pretty much.
And,
Always find the camera and stare
well,
directly.
and the amount of times, and I'm pretty sure you guys can vouch for this, I always go, it's like that one episode of The Office. So the fact that I saw this meme and the first thing I thought was, identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
Such a good show.
Good meme.
Good meme.
Bailey also says she's excited for new DuckTales, especially since the terror who flaps in the night might show up. They teased very heavily about that, and so that will be very exciting. My hunch is he won't show up till like the last episode of the first season or something, though.
Yeah.
And I kind of was expecting him to, just because we already knew Gizmo Duck was coming, and I was like, well, it would kind of make sense to have both of them end up working together or something. Like, and it just gives a lot of potential for future with this. Although the rule of Disney is usually 3 seasons, isn't it?
Just about.
Yeah.
4.
4? It's 4.
Four.
Okay.
3 or 4.
3 or 4. Let's hope for
The
4.
fourth is usually unwatchable, right? Isn't that the rule?
Yeah.
Not on cartoons.
Not a cartoon.
That's true.
On sitcoms.
As I say, Disney XD,
Change
I
it.
feel like has hit it pretty solidly with those kinds of things. So next trailer we are going to hit is Thor Ragnarok.
Alright.
Cameron has his hands way up in the air, and it looks like he has it pasted onto his stomach.
That tattoo's been there the entire time.
Surprise, guys.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, well, Microsoft Paint's going out, so
Yeah.
I need some color.
Aw,
Good reference.
Thank you.
very topical.
Katie, why don't you kick this one off?
Perfect. Because I know many things. Let me tell you something. I'm actually... I'm very sleep deprived, so that's where this is coming from. I'm excited. I feel like this is a totally different tone from what I know of the other Thor movies. To be fair, I know nothing about the other Thor movies, so I could be entirely wrong. But it seems different, and I like it.
Go ahead, Cameron.
It's weird, man. Like, this trailer gave me a lot of excitement, but it also gave me a lot
Trepidation.
more worries. Trepidations, yes.
Good word.
Yes, well done.
Thank you. Do I get a card?
No.
You already got a card for trepidation.
Yeah, you did.
Really?
Yeah.
That word?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember. Okay.
The thing that worries me most is they're setting up another buddy thing.
Yeah.
And that structure feels...
Not just a buddy thing, but a team thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it can work. It's just that I feel like that's kind of tried and true territory. I'm very, very, very excited coming from some of the comic book stuff they're referencing, specifically with Ragnarok. One thing that they're hinting at, and this isn't confirmed anywhere, this is pure speculation, is that in this storyline, it's where Hulk gets separated from Bruce Banner a lot. Mm-hmm. And I kind of hope that happens. Mm-hmm. Also, there's a dog being very cute off camera, which is probably what this is, because they don't react this much when I start.
Way more interesting than what you're saying right now, but go ahead.
But yeah, so they might be separating Hulk from Bruce Banner, which would be super cool. And I'm really excited.
So I was reading online today that this might be the shortest MCU movie to date. I've also noticed the pacing is completely different, as you mentioned, than the other Thor movies. To me, and this is also coming from a trailer that we may or may not have seen online that we shouldn't have, it doesn't exist. But it seems like, to me, they're really trying to make the crossover between the world of Thor, bless you, 2 weeks in a row, World of Thor, I'm sorry you're all deaf now,
This is why I pay more attention to the dog.
to Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, to me, there's a huge, like, the pacing looks like it, the graphics looked a lot more Guardians of the Galaxy, and then even the team building seemed very, like, it just felt more like a Guardians movie. Do you think I'm...
No, you're absolutely right.
Oh no,
Okay.
they're realizing that's the franchise that's really working for them right now, and I think
That's the only franchise that's
it
working
is.
for them.
Everything else Marvel has done
Not-
is a failure.
not
except for
Spider-Man.
Guardians.
Not that
No.
Iron Guy.
No, Iron Guy.
Captains
sucks.
never go anywhere.
No, I've heard that they're doing like 15 more movies. So.
She hit the dragon. I saw.
She did hit the dragon.
Don't
I
be
think-
next to me.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, the other movie that we have coming out that they released a poster for was Black Panther. And I don't know if we have that there. Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I am the poster.
And it's an interesting thing. There was a boilerplate that came out with it as well. Looking at the poster, was there anything that really jumped out at you that made you more excited about this movie, less excited, whatever?
I think it's going to be visually stunning, and I think
Yeah.
that's something to really emphasize in this more. And just the dichotomy of assumed technological prowess of Wakanda and what the actual technological abilities of Wakanda are is something you see in the distance there. I like that.
I think it's going to be a really interesting exploration in a way that Marvel hasn't done before. And that's going to be fun.
I totally agree. I still don't know what to expect from this movie, just because I'm still figuring like my life out. Like, and then Marvel also is involved with that. I'm gonna keep touching Unnamed Dragon. I'm so sorry.
Maybe it needs a name and then it'll be okay.
I'll just
Jean Valjean?
Thank you.
I'll pet it for now.
Thor is the god of thunder, but Mr. Cam Jackson is the god of the thunderous sneeze.
Yes, that would be
Thank
my
you,
god
William.
power.
Thor Ragnarok trailer made things clearer on the overall plot line. I thought there were a lot more antagonists previously. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That was from Steven.
More antagonists. I mean, they reference a couple of them in the trailer that I didn't know about yet. I mean, other than the Goddess of Death, but I think there's more now than I thought. So I'm curious where you think it's less.
Interesting. So Black Panther,
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
Many
where are you
exciting.
gonna rate it compared to to other recent? Like better or worse than Spider-Man? Do you think?
I still haven't seen Spider-Man.
Better or worse than Spider-Man? Do you think?
I don't know, because my big thing with Marvel movies is I'm afraid of them being able to keep my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Just like right now, where things are distracting me and I have a very small attention span.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
that's a
know
benefit
what's
for Thor
going
with
on.
the
We
possible
have
length,
people
but-
like waving their arms in the back, and
I'm like a goldfish, guys. I
It's
see things
very
and I
distracting.
trail off and
Yes.
I
Yeah.
get confused. But yeah, so that's my whole thing is I'm afraid of having a small attention span and not being like, I don't know.
And there is going to be a lot of world building in this movie, so
Yeah.
you're right. It could get bogged down.
That's what I'm scared of.
It could get heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to the Howard Ashman trailer next. Let's stick with trailers for a minute. We're getting a little bit out of order, but that's okay. So Don Hahn, who did Waking Sleeping Beauty, and it's an absolutely beautiful documentary. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Is working on a documentary about Howard Ashman, who really was kind of the driving force behind a lot of the renaissance of the Disney animation in the late 80s, early 90s. Really is credited with giving Little Mermaid her voice. Look at Belle, some of Aladdin, stuff like that. What do you think about this movie now that you've seen the trailer? And we don't know when this movie's coming out, this documentary. But what do you think about it, and do you want to see it?
Yes, I want to see it. And I think 100% there's a story that needs to be told because I don't feel like enough people know it. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily recognize a lot of the work that he did. Like they might know the name, but they don't necessarily recognize the work, and then they don't know the loss that Disney went through in that period in the 90s, which it really, they always say it makes Beauty and the Beast that much more meaningful and beautiful, really. And I think it's an important story to tell. So. And
you saying that, I know very little of it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know any of the story. So even that little trailer with the tidbits, I'm like, oh, I didn't know what a driving force this person was. And it's interesting, all these things that happened to him around those
He
times.
appears in some of the bonus features, I think, for different releases of Beauty and the Beast. I think he was pretty prominent in Waking Sleeping Beauty. I haven't seen it in a few years.
Yes, he was.
And I think Waking Sleeping Beauty probably set the table for this documentary to happen. I have a feeling when they're looking at the overarching story of the Disney animation and Waking Sleeping Beauty, it probably led to the realization that there could be more specifically on Howard Ashman. And obviously, since Alan Menken's still around, we hear his story a whole lot more, but we don't necessarily hear beyond the disappointment and the heartbreak, just how centralized Howard Ashman was to everything that happened. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't know when it's coming out, but it will be great to see. And Don Hahn, everything he does is great. So if you ever want to be on the show, Don, we'd love to have you sit.
You can have my chair. I'll probably leave.
You can sit wherever you want, honestly. Like
anywhere,
you
please.
can just come on in.
We'll bring out Nana's pad, put it on the ground.
Exactly. Another thing we're very excited about is we are putting together an event that's going to happen on August 17th called Rock for Chalk. You don't want to miss it. We've got it plastered all over the place on the website. But this is a benefit concert for CHOC, Children's Hospital of Orange County. And we have booked Crazy Kirk and the Hillbillies, formerly Billy Hill and the Hillbillies, if you went to Disneyland for the last couple of decades. And now they're at Knott's Berry Farm, where they're fantastic and a great place to watch. In fact, that's probably my favorite thing to do at Knott's Berry Farm is to watch Crazy Kirk and those guys. But they will be performing at Shepherd's Grove Church in Garden Grove, California at 7:30. And an hour before, we're going to have a silent auction with everything benefiting CHOC. And so this is an absolutely fantastic event. You don't want to miss it. So get as many people as you can to this thing, because literally every penny will be going to help Children's Hospital of Orange County.
I think that is an important thing to note. The facility for this event, which seats hundreds of people, and we're hoping to fill it up, has been given to us completely free of charge. So really every cent of things we're making on this, you're not kidding, is going directly to CHOC. In fact, CHOC was kind enough to set up our ticket sell site, so it's the money goes to them. Like, it's great. But we really need your help so people know about it.
Yep.
So please.
And if there's any chance you think you might come, go buy a ticket now, because we just don't know how quickly they'll go. And I have a feeling it'll reach critical mass, and then it'll be like, oops. So get your tickets early, and we'll see you there. And we have some fun things we're working on that potentially could make this crazy night even crazier. So you don't want to miss it. And if you have specific songs that you remember the Billies doing or the Hillbillies doing, let us know, and we can make requests for them. I know I've already made my request. That's just a standing request every time I see them, and it's pretty awesome because Kirk is just very gracious with my requests. And so if you hear King of the Road, that's probably why. What song do you really want to hear? You're giggling here in the corner.
No, it was. I I knew you were gonna say King of the Road, obviously.
I like when they
but
sing King of the
I was
Road.
gonna be like, can I request for them to not play King of the Road? It was a joke. I love King of the Road. I'm so sorry.
Stop
that I
hitting the
hit-
dragon.
I hit your dragon. I love King of the Road. This isn't against you at all. I just
She's
thought
shooting down King of the Road, and she's hitting my dragon.
no
Banshee.
dragons on Star Trek.
Banshee. So, song. What song do you want to hear?
King of the Road. It would make you happy.
That's nice of you. Cameron, real song.
Blue Moon of Kentucky, just because I want to hear
Oh.
that breakdown done on banjo. Like,
That'd be cool.
Orange Blossom Special.
Orange Blossom Special, of
yes.
course. You cannot go wrong with that. I mean, everybody wants to see a train whiz by the front of a church sanctuary at 65 miles per hour, right?
Mhm.
In fact, I would dare say that would be the fastest train to ever go through a church.
Sure. You're right.
So make sure not only get your tickets early, but share that with your friends, with your family. Have them get tickets as well. Ideally everybody shows up, but even if you're just getting tickets, it all benefits Chalk, and it's $10 a ticket. So what do you got to lose? That's a couple of cups of Starbucks, and two. Okay, there we go.
Also,
Thank you.
Really big thank you to Kirk and the boys for doing this. It's going to be great, and they're really, really on board with it, and we really appreciate it. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did you have a?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I saw your hand move. I'm like, oh, is he trying to get me to say something or whatever? Disneyland
Heard of it?
has some new things going on. The Max Pass has come to Disneyland over the last couple of weeks, and we haven't really talked about it yet. We have gotten to experience it. The Max Pass is perfect for people who don't like walking to Fast Pass stations. And that's pretty much my simplest explanation of what the Max Pass is. And we got to try it out while we were waiting for the college band, which was fantastic because you're pretty much stuck waiting for a spot. And normally, if you know me, it's very rare that I'll go on an attraction. And part of that is just because my time is usually more devoted towards people or taking pictures or whatever. And with the Max Pass, I could just log in to the Disneyland app and say, hey, I want to go see Paris and Soarin'. Click on
In
the
that
thing.
order.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the only part I care about. And between one of the two sets, it was the hot set. It was the
was between-
flag retreat, right?
Yeah, we did it during Flag Retreat.
So we could go on flag retreat, or we could go on Soarin' during the flag retreat, and then still be back in time to watch the last two sets of the college band, which are only around for a few more weeks. So make sure you check them out or watch our videos. How's that for a plug?
Yeah.
Hey,
good job.
Thanks. I'm getting good at this after like 6 years or something. I don't know. But what do you think of Max Pass? You haven't tried it yet, but what's your initial thought?
I looked through it a bit.
Okay.
So I can see its benefit, especially if you are a bit more unfamiliar with the park or you have a larger group and you're trying to keep everybody organized. Huge benefit. For a group like us that goes very often, knows the layout of the park, and is there mostly just to walk around anyway.
Enjoy things.
Yeah, like,
people,
it's-
ambience. Yeah.
It's not a huge thing. I equivocate it to fast traveling in a video game versus actually just walking the distance.
That's exactly right.
If you enjoy the experience of the video game, you'll go ahead and walk. But if you're looking just to get the things done, go ahead and fast travel. Analogy.
Do you think it's worth the $10?
For vacationers? Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. What do you think?
If I had signature, because before I got my fancy schmancy pass, I did have signature. I know I'm so fancy, whatever.
What was that voice? Did you do that all the time forever, please?
I do it
Every time she
frequently.
talks about her premiere pass, she now has to do that. Anyway, keep going. Anyway,
I did have signature before, but I actually think that Max Pass, now that I'm getting used to it, it will push me to be Signature Plus now that Signature doesn't have Max Pass. But if I had only had Signature and I'd never had Max Pass in the first place, I probably wouldn't care.
because really all it does is cut you from walking to Fast Pass.
Pretty much, but I love the simplicity of if you have other friends with Max Pass, you can say, hey, I'm going to get us all a Fast Pass for Soarin'.
Yeah, you
at
just link it in.
4:45.
It's great.
And you're all linked together and you can make your things and then you just scan your fancy premiere pass.
Thank you.
And yeah, like, and my parents did it and my parents thought it was fantastic 'cause they were like, we only had to like make it for each other and we
The
got
thing
to
I would like to see is a better overarching Wi-Fi network.
Yeah.
Just because I think that could be a weak point perhaps a little bit in the system, and then just because your data, like as you're trying to connect to the different Wi-Fi points, I feel like your phone is constantly searching, and so that probably is not helping your battery. And you can do it through data too, and that's fine too.
Yeah,
But-
Lieutenant Commander is very difficult to find in the parks,
I
but
knew you
yeah.
were gonna take it there.
I know.
I knew you were gonna take it there.
Yeah, you know what phone he works really well with? Androids.
She hasn't gotten that far in the series. She's still in the original series, so she actually has no clue.
Who has tomatoes?
Throw them, guys. Throw them. So we have a vote for the name of the Banshee so far, and that would be from Bailey, who votes for the name Tad Cooper from... Actually, I'm not going to say what it's from. If you know what it is, you know that that's a very good vote and has a very real possibility of happening. Because I absolutely love that song. Like, that might be my favorite song from that show. And you get points for that one, Miss Bailey C. That was fantastic.
Hold on to those points. You can redeem them at the Geeks Corner store.
We have a store?
Apparently.
Oh, cool.
At the store is one friendship
Yay.
from me.
Great. Final topic for tonight is the Galactic Grill in Tomorrowland now has a late night menu that starts at 9 o'clock p.m., which I'm curious what happens when it's off peak and like it closes at 8 o'clock. Like,
You don't get that fourth meal.
yeah, I guess. But they have a lot of options that come out at 9 o'clock. Like a surprise, like it's a whole new menu. So there's a Micron burger, which is basically slider, that looks decent. Meteor potato bites, which looks amazing.
So good.
Sweet and spicy or spicy star clusters also looks really good. Little Dippers French toast sticks for those who want dessert. There's a quesadilla that I can't. Lunar Spaceadilla. I don't like the name. That's the first.
It was a stupid name.
It's cheesy.
It's cheesy. It is.
Both of it.
Spaceadilla. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Roger. There's a kids power pack with banana, sliced apples, baby carrots, cheese, crackers, yogurt smoothie, and choice of milk or water.
Game.
Mickey ice cream bar, cookies and cream ice cream sandwich, strawberry fruit bar. There is a ton of food there. Which one do you want to try the most?
I like those tots, man. That sounded
That's the
Yeah.
potatoes. Yeah, those look really good. And actually, the spicy star clusters.
Yeah.
I mean, chicken wings at Disneyland, if they're good. But, like, I think there's spicy chicken wings at Disneyland at night. Like, that sounds fantastic.
It does.
You could watch Hard Day's Night while eating spicy chicken wings and then have ice cream afterwards at Tomorrowland Terrace.
My thought while writing this article too, because I was the one that did basically just copied and pasted. I'm in hacking. The entire time I was like, this would be fun to eat while watching Hard Day's Night.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's all we do at Tomorrowland Terrace is we're only over there for
That's
Hard Day's
pretty
Night.
much the only time we go there is if
But-
Hard Day's Night is playing.
With the selection of foods that they have there, I'm a little surprised that these aren't California Adventure offerings,
Yeah.
based on the type of thing that these types of foods pair well with.
That's true.
Yes. So, I
Maybe
mean,
they're trying
they're
to-
still going to be good. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
That is very true. So everybody wants a potato bites as their first choice.
Give me a potato.
I think to me the Micron burger actually looked the least exciting. Is like, okay, it's a burger, but
Well, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. But
just everything
burgers
else
are
looks much better.
everywhere.
yeah.
Well, I think it depends on the price point, too. These look like nibblier things.
Yeah.
So, if they're a couple bucks and I'm in the mood for a little bit of protein, yeah. why not?
Absolutely. I hope Ronnie is able to review them before she goes back to school.
Don't
So,
talk about Ronnie going back to school.
I mean, Ronnie should review these, and they would be amazing.
Because Ronnie's not going anywhere.
She would never go anywhere. How dare she? Yeah. Now that we're all hungry
Oh,
I
yeah.
already was hungry.
and drinking our coffee,
Not hungry.
we are running out of time for tonight's episode of Geeks Corner. By the next time you see us,
See ya.
See you, boss.
some of us will have traveled to Chicago and around the world and back, and we will tell you where the best Chicago pizza is from,
And some of us wear
if
black.
we remember. And some of us will be at home making sure things don't break. Right?
That's a
Making sure-
terrible job to give me.
Making sure California doesn't sink.
Speaking things that don't break, you won't be broken if you go check out the cool and complete list at thegeekscorner.com of all of our episodes.
You can check out all of the articles on things we talked about tonight and more that we couldn't get to at dapsmagic.com.
And make sure to follow us on all of our social media channels. I can't speak tonight. Subscribe to the website at dapsmagic.com so you get our daily newsletter. And find us on social media as well, because we love to connect with you guys individually. But that is all the time we have for you this week, so we will see you around the corner.